What's up guys, and today I'm going to show you how to make a secret weapon wall in Fortnite Creative 1.0. We're not going to use any verse or anything like that. This is just like the secret weapon wall from 1v1 with every gun. So let's just get straight into the video. So first we're going to want to have some vending machines, and this is just going to display the weapon. We're not actually going to interact with this, it's just for visuals. Make sure the model is on screen only, and then select a class, put it to any class you haven't used yet on your map. So for me I've just done 250, and this means no one can actually interact with the device and get the weapon out of it. And then you're going to want to go to your weapons and get whatever weapon you want to drop into this vending machine. Now you're going to probably want OP weapons like a plasma cannon or Zeus's thunderbolt or goo gun or something like that. Alright, so next we're going to want switches, and these switches are going to show if the player has actually unlocked the weapon or not. So let's customize the switch, and for the name I put PL, which signifies the plasma cannon. But obviously you couldn't rename it to whatever you're doing. So for the settings, put allow interaction to no, because we're actually going to interact with a button, not actually with the switch. Store state per player to yes, use persistence to use, and you're going to want to have auto save and auto load to yes and game start. So this means that the weapons will save even when the player leaves the game and joins another one. You're going to want to put check state of game start to disable, because otherwise if the player has all the weapons unlocked, then they're all going to be granted to them at the start of the game, and you don't really want that to happen. Alright, so next let's get a button, and you're going to have to go off grid snap and place it right over the switch. And for the button I've again renamed it to PL for plasma cannon. Interaction time I put half a second. You can do whatever you want really. Trigger sound to disabled, visible during games to no, and interaction radius I've just put it to 0.25 because it's a bit larger. And then put on interact, send event 2, the switch we just set up to check the state. And then we're going to have two signals that come out of that. That's either going to grant the player the weapon, or it's going to show them a HUD message device to say that they had not owned the secret. So let's place down an item granter. So put on grant action to keep all, and make sure receiving player is on triggering player. And then scroll across to the functions tab and make sure you put grant items in from the switch we just set up on check result on. So the button's going to check the switch, and if it results as on, it's going to then grant them this item. And then you're obviously going to want to drop the same weapon you put into the vending machine. So for me it's a plasma cannon. Now guys, we're going to come over to the system that's actually going to unlock the reward for the player. So you can do this however you want. I've done a mutator zone here, a button, or a tracker that has like a quest in it. So for the first one I've done a button. Again, I've renamed it to button PL on, so this will enable the rewards for the player. Put the interaction text to it wherever you want. I put secret, visible during games to no, and interaction radius I've left it at 0.25. And then when you put on interact, send event 2, make sure the switch turns on, so it means the player's unlocked that weapon or item. And then you're also going to want it to, for the item granter, to grant the player the item. So the item grant will grant the player the item when they first unlock it, and then also when they press the button and it checks if the switch is on, and then it will give them the item. Okay, so next, now I'm going to show you how to do it with a mutator zone, and they can emote in the zone, and then they'll unlock the weapon. So what I suggest you do is multi-select the switch and also the button, and then you copy them, and then all the settings will be the same. You just have to rename both of the devices so it doesn't get confusing, and then all the settings will transfer over. But then you're going to want to make sure that each button is only checking one switch, because it might have copied over wrong. So each button is only on interact to the switch that is behind it. So now for this switch, instead of a button, we're going to use a mutator zone, and we're going to put enable the effects to disabled, and you want allow weapon fire and building, and then you can just put on player starts emoting, send event 2, the switch for the second switch. This is going to be a mythic goldfish, and that's going to turn on, which means they've unlocked the item. And then it's also going to grant the player the item in a separate item granter, and this one is for the mythic goldfish. And make sure it's only grant items in from the ones for the mythic goldfish, so the switch for mythic goldfish and the mutator zone or button or whatever you're doing but in this case I've done it with a mutator zone. And then make sure your switch turn on when receiving from is only when receiving from the way you want it to be granted, not multiple ways. So say you had the button previously, you don't want that to be also connected to this too. You'd only want it to be connected from one thing. And then when you go to the events, you should see on result check on said event 2 the item granted to grant the item, and then on check result off we're now going to set up a HUD message device to show that they don't own the item. So for that, just place down a HUD message device, and for the settings in this I've put you don't own this item, find secrets around the map to unlock, and the message recipient is the triggering player, and show for duration I've done it for 5 seconds, and placement is top center, priority display immediately, and text color whatever you want. And then you're just going to want this to be shown when receiving from all the switches on check result off. So when someone presses the button and then the switch realizes it's turned off, it's going to send a signal to this HUD message device and it's going to show this message. Now guys, I'm going to show you how to do it with a quest. So if we go over to this tracker, I've got a quest for eliminations, but you could do other stuff like score or chest opens or players revived, weapons fished, props destroyed, distance travelled in cars or on foot, rounds won, games won, and stuff like that. So for me, I've done eliminations and the target value is 500, so that's 500 eliminations. You can obviously do however many you want. I think you can go up to like 10,000 if you want. Show on hard, I put this to no. Use persistence to on, so you can have this saving between games. Auto save to yes, and auto load to initial spawn. And then you're going to want to put when complete send event 2, the item granted for this reward, and the switch for this reward to turn on. So for this switch, it's only turned on when receiving from the tracker we just set up, and on turned on is going to for the item granted to grant the item. Now instead of using this to say they don't own it, we're going to use a separate HUD message device for this to say that you need 500 eliminations to unlock this. So I put you need 500 eliminations to unlock this, and again it's the same settings as before, triggering player, top center, display immediately. And then you're just going to want to put showrooms in from that switch to do with the eliminations on check result off. So when they don't have 500 eliminations, it's going to show that HUD message device saying you need 500 eliminations to unlock this reward. Also guys, make sure on your item granters that the items being granted are only being granted from the switch to do with that reward and the way of getting it. So that in this case it's a mutator zone, and in this case it's a tracker. Finally guys, this is just a quality of life thing. I've shown a secret unlocked when you actually unlock a secret. So message recipient triggering player, play sound, I've done it to unlock, but you can do whatever sound you want. Placement is top center, color whatever you want. Show when it's in from any and all the switches when they're turned on. So when the switch is turned on, it means they've unlocked it, so then it's going to show this message to say secret unlocked, and it's going to play a cool sound. Right guys, now I'm going to show you how it works. As you can see, when I go up to it and interact with it, it says you don't own this item, find secrets around the map to unlock. And the same for the mythic goldfish. But when I select this one, it's going to show you need 500 eliminations to unlock this. Okay, so as you remember, I had a button in this corner, and then when I press it, it's going to show secret unlocked, and it has the sound effect, and now I've got the plasma cannon. And then when I go up to here and interact with it, I can also get another one. And as you remember, I had a mutator zone here, and I can emote. And now I've unlocked the mythic goldfish. And I can get more from here. And I can't really get 500 eliminations right now, so I can't really show you that one. If you want to make a keypad, then you can type in some numbers, and then you can unlock one of the weapons. Make sure to check out the tutorial on screen now, and I'll show you how to do that. And on the trigger in that tutorial, you're just going to want to have it to turn on the switch, and that will mean they've unlocked the weapon. Subscribe if this tutorial was helpful, and thanks for watching the video guys. Peace.